Some of you may have read about this film already. It has become a real phenomenon in China. I first saw it in Beijing in July. It wasn't yet completed, but we were lucky enough to visit the Huai Brothers studios and see the film, and had some sense of what it might become, because the director, Feng Xiaogang, has already become one of the most popular directors in China. He's essentially China's Steven Spielberg. And with this film, he's taken a very important and very painful chapter in Chinese history and crafted a beautiful story, and he had some help. This film is based on a book by the writer Zhang Ling, and she has told just a terrific story based on the initial earthquake that happened in Tangshan in China in the 1970s, and crafted a very powerful family story out of that. And she has her own very powerful family story. She has, although she was born and raised in China, she has now made Toronto her home. And she's here to present the film to you this evening. So please join me in welcoming the writer of both of the film.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. If there are dates in our lives that we should remember, then I would say July 29th, 2006 is definitely one of them for me. That day, I was at Beijing's International Airport waiting for my flight to get home to Toronto. And there was a torrential rain all day long that day, and I was stranded in the airport for more than 9 hours. I was totally bored, having nothing to do, so I decided to go and buy a book to kill my time. So I walked into the bookstore, and I was very surprised to find stacks and stacks of memoirs of Tangshan earthquake. Then all of a sudden, it dawned on me that it was the 30th anniversary of that earthquake that pretty much wiped out the whole city of Tangshan, claiming more than 240,000 lives with it. Of course, that moment, I did not know that inspiration was creeping up on me, ready to take me by surprise. I didn't know either that a book was about to be born, and in turn, a movie was going to base on it, claiming the all-time box office success in China. Good thing I didn't know that then. Then when I returned to Toronto, I started my research on my book. And during my research, I was so touched by so many stories of the surviving children of the earthquake. Lots of them were maimed and orphaned. They not only lost their loved ones, but also the best part of their childhood memories. Tangshan earthquake happened in 1976. That's the tail end of the Cultural Revolution. This was a period that everybody, me included, was made to believe that man for sure can conquer nature, and stoicism was the only way to deal with losses. So those children have not been given a chance to grieve openly, and their tears really have never been shed. And here, 30-some years later, and thousands of miles away here in Toronto, I just whimsically decided to poke around, looking for the tears that have not been shed, and the wounds that have not been really properly healed, and the pain that hasn't really been talked about. So 6 months later, a novella called Aftershock showed up. Then, within 3.5 years, a movie bearing the same title came out. The movie definitely is based on the book, but the movie is not the book. The book has a pretty dark motif, opening up the wounds supposedly long healed, exposing the unpleasant supposedly long forgotten, and forcing people to re-examine the cruelty of lives in times of disasters. Whereas the movie really intends to comfort, to heal, and urge people to bury their hatchets and move on with their lives. Director Feng Xiaogang is one of the most talented movie makers in China, and he's managed to instill in this movie an overflow of compassion and warmth that really gives hope to every heart once broken. This is a movie about hardship and sufferings endured with dignity, courage, and a great kindness. Mr. Feng Xiaogang and his team are tied up right now in their next project, so they won't be able to be here tonight for the screening. But I talked to his assistant a few days ago, and he asked me to pass his greetings to you, and he wishes everyone in the audience tonight would enjoy the movie. So without further ado, we're going to get on to the movie. And I was told it might be helpful to keep a little piece of tissue handy, as you might need it from time to time. This is a movie that has moved the whole nation to tears. A taser movie, as they call it. So enjoy the movie. Thank you very much.